Hello, this is David Giese, the CEO and co-founder of Analytics. Today I'm going to be answering a question our clients often ask us, which is, can we keep writing the software after we submit our 510K? So the problem that often faces medical device startups where their device contains software is that they're doing all the software development, and then they need to get a snapshot or system image of the state of the software so that they can then test and verify it and validate it. In the records of that process are then compiled into the 510K and submitted to the FDA for review. And the FDA review can take some time to complete, depending on the complexity of your device and so on. And so what happens, what is your software engineering team do while you're waiting for the FDA review is one question, or is one difficulty. But the other difficulty is that you'll often have funding timelines tied to submitting your 510K. So if your runway is running out, it can be quite stressful, and of course you'd like to do anything you can to increase the speed with which you can submit to the FDA. Time is money, of course. So one approach or regulatory strategy that we've seen to be very effective is to identify features in the software that aren't critical to the safety or effectiveness of the device, and to put those off until last. So then we do all the development, and then we up till what we called version 1.0. That version, we take a snapshot, we do verification and validation of the software in that state. Meanwhile, the software team is now busily working on version 1.1 while the FDA is reviewing the submission for 1.0. And as long as, and this is critical, as long as the features in the 1.1 release are not such that they would require another 510K, then you can do what you'd call a note to file, and it does involve some additional documentation, but for the version 1.1, and then often you can even complete that before the FDA review. So this not only keeps your engineering team busy, but if you have funding milestones tied to that submission, then it can really help there too. Now, the main downside is you do have to do some additional paperwork, but if you're using good tooling, or if you're working with a team like ours that has great templates and a great system, this isn't so bad. So what it would mean is you'd run first through this is a diagram showing our typical development lifecycle process. So you'd run through up to version 1.0. You'd get your system image for this, do verification, validation of that, and then once the next version 1.1 features come around, you'll do the same thing, or maybe even do a smaller release process for just that. So the critical thing is to make sure that those changes that are introduced between version 1.0 and 1.1 do not trigger the need for another submission. And there's really two main FDA guidance documents here, the titles of them, that you need to consult for that. And I don't want to get into that in this talk because it can get a little complicated. But I would like to mention that at Analytics, one of our great strengths is we're a software engineering team with a regulatory focus. And that means we speak both languages. We speak the software engineering language and the regulatory language. And this has a number of benefits, but one of the places where it really shines is when we're coming up with regulatory strategies, say, like we've discussed here, because we understand the software and the regulatory implications, and because we know both, we can help guide you towards what features will get you the most bang for your buck, and how even guide the architecture of how you would set up your software to allow you to isolate these features in a safe manner. So that's just one of the ways that our combined expertise can really benefit companies, among a number of other ways. But hopefully this video is useful for you. If you're in this situation and would like to talk to a talented team that could help guide your strategy, we'd love to talk to you. So please reach out.